Plan is to get it somewhere near 600 to 650 horsepower. It's going to be from pure turbos. Audi A4 2-litre TDI. Now it's in with us for a remap today. Right, so finally after having a few issues running this vehicle across from there to there. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Darren Evans and this is 𝙃𝙗𝙀 Performance. I'm supposing that a lot of you will have been wondering exactly what's happened with this M140i. We've owned it for about a month or more now. It hasn't featured on the channel much because, just to recap, I'll probably throw something in the video here about exactly what happened to this vehicle. But just briefly, owned the vehicle for about 20 hours. At that point, yeah, the vehicle got damaged in the rear end. So the point of today's video is to give you an update and show you exactly where we're up to, tell you what's gone on and try and put some context into this video. So guys, as you can see, the rear end of the vehicle has been involved in a shunt. Now we're at some traffic lights and a lovely little Civic decided to collide with us. Now on initial inspection, as we said in the previous video, the damage looks significant. Now that we've removed this diffuser, it's actually not as bad as we thought. Now the vehicle has been deemed repairable by the insurance company of the third party. They've admitted liability and suggested that they wish to repair it. So now here comes the difficult bit, in as much as getting that actually done. Now the companies that the insurance have suggested we go through, I'm not happy with them for one reason or another. Want to be able to manage this locally. I didn't want to buy a damaged car in the first place, so I don't see why I shouldn't be able to choose exactly who repairs it. The insurance company actually offered me the sum that the original person quoted as a payment for the complete repair, but that would mean that we'd lose the courtesy car, so we refused that. We're now in the process of actually getting our chosen repairer approved, hopefully to ensure that we can get it done by someone locally. That being said, I thought I'd give you a bit of an update about exactly what damage has occurred to the vehicle. So most obviously, I mean, the rear bumper is a complete write-off, the diffuser itself and the little reflectors, etc. The M Performance exhaust is also twisted. Now that comes as just an axle back. The surprising bit about that is the actual cost of the exhaust itself. Now the rear silencer is about £950, something like that, and then the exhaust tips come as a separate, which are about 400 quid as a combination, so overall it's about 1,300 quid. The bumper's not as expensive as you might imagine. There's a lot of ancillary and associated bits behind it as well. The only worrying thing about this is obviously the insurance company haven't investigated exactly what happened on that day in terms of the vehicle not driving, which is why we want to get it repaired locally, because we want to get diagnostic done on it and get all the alignment and everything else checked on it really. So we're going to hopefully get this over to the repairer in the next week or so, and we'll have this bumper removed and hopefully see if there's any more damage behind it that we can't see to the reinforcer and so on and so forth. That was actually in the quote, so that will get replaced, but just be interesting to see exactly what's behind this bumper. In terms of the chassis itself of the vehicle, there is a little tiny mark on the leg here. I'm sure at some point Bennett will try and pick that up. So there's a little bit of tiny mark, and as we mentioned in the previous video, there's a little bit of scuffing or chipping to the underside of the boot lid itself. But other than that, the car survived remarkably well considering exactly how that Civic looked after it shunted us. Right guys, so what's the plan for this vehicle? Well, the plan is to get it somewhere near 600 to 650 horsepower. That was the original plan, so we might as well not rest on our laurels or get upset and downhearted about this. We might as well proceed as we originally intended. So what do you actually need to get this vehicle to that power? Well, not a whole hell of a lot and not a lot of money. It doesn't need a built motor. It doesn't need anything other than a rear diff. And as you guys know, the M Performance diff is about 1,800 quid. It's already in the casing, so it must just need bolting on. Now, I haven't actually checked whether this vehicle is fitted with an upgrade diff. You never know, I might be lucky, but as things have gone, probably not. So let's start from the top. What is actually required for the stage 4, I think they call it, on the BMW M140? You need a panel filter only. You don't necessarily, in fact, they actively encourage you not to go with an open comb. So you only need a panel filter. You're going to need the charge cooler. There's lots of different options from Forge Motorsport, from 𝑘𝙤𝙂 𝙁, who are also Puma Speed. You're probably going to spend about 800 quid on that. Now you're going to need a fuel pump, and that's the one on the engine, most commonly known as a high pressure fuel pump. That's a 𝑘𝙤𝙀 fuel pump. The cost of that is pretty horrific. Depending on what size you go for, it's anything between £1,200 and £1,500. Now the next thing on the list, the big ticket item, is obviously going to be the turbo setup. They're on their own manifold, so it's going to be from pure turbos. That's what we probably intend to use. They're about £2,500 plus the surcharge. If you haven't got a turbo to send to them originally, you'll obviously get that back. It's about 1,300 quid, I think. So one of the final things, big things on the list, is the downpipe. Now, on this particular model, it's not actually as expensive as you may think. A decat is about £250. Obviously, these are excluding labour because we're not talking about that at the moment. So we're looking at about £5,000 worth at cost of parts to upgrade this car. That's excluding the software. Obviously, this has already got software on it. I do believe it's got a licence key with it as well. It's something I'll have to investigate as well. To go alongside that, with the diff, the other recommendation that they do have is that you use water meth on this to accompany it. Now, we'd probably, if I was going to do that, we'd either choose AEM, which is about a £450 kit, including the tank, or, as we've done before, we'd probably go with the Pinnacle, which is the 𝙈 system. Now, anyone who's seen that will see that it's just such an amazing bit of kit and so far advanced, it's unreal. Now that kit alone for the V3.1 V4 kit is about 650, 700 quid. That's excluding the tank and everything else and all the other additional bits. So we'd probably end up spending £750 or more on that. But I do honestly believe the £300 to £400 extra is actually worth it. So if I'm going to put a water meth kit in this, then I probably will go with that. Now, I'm going to let James take the lead somewhat with this car and advise me on exactly what's needed, because he's driven 600 and 700 brake horsepower versions of these. He's tuned far more of them, so he's got far more experience. That's not to say that I couldn't work it out, but it's just easier when you work with a friend. So the answer is that we're going to take this to 600 to 700 horsepower. We'll fit some other bits of modifications. Obviously, we've purchased some bits already. Matt Armstrong did us an amazing deal on the rear diffuser. He's got rear diffuser off that M140 that he had, and we've purchased that off him. We had hoped to visit him to actually make a video with him, but I don't think it's going to come off for one reason and another, just the fact that we've been so busy recently and he's quite far away. So we'll probably get that collected. When it arrives, we'll show you us putting it on. We'll probably get some other bits of external modifications to go with it, some splitters, some side skirts, maybe even a spoiler lip or whatever else we can find just to complete this car. We will look at the steering wheel, as we mentioned in the previous video, and we'll hopefully get some nice videos of this on the hub dyno and see exactly what we can get out of it. But if you have enjoyed this sort of content and you aren't already subscribed, then please consider doing so. Hit that bell icon to stay notified and comment down below. We know that you are here for the Ford and VAG content, but this is something we're looking to diversify into, so we really do appreciate you watching, and just make sure you stay tuned because there will be more Ford content, more VAG content and more BMW content coming very soon. Give this video a thumbs up, it'll help us out. We're really close to that 10,000 mark now. All we can do is say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting us on this journey. It's been an amazing ride and we're excited to see what next year brings for us. Stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one, guys.